Get ready for all the highlights of Valley High School football. It's time for Action 4 Sports Sunday Sports Extra.
Hello and welcome to Sunday Sports Extra on Action 4. I am Action 4 Sports Director Clay Williams. Yeah, I've got a full boat here, don't we? Need a little elbow room. Joining me is Action 4 Sports reporter Brendan Fitzgerald. And from 956sports.com, we got Jake Berry and Greg Silver. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. Let's go ahead and get started very quickly with last night's games. It was Saturday night football down in Brownsville one more time. This time it was Porter taking on Rivera. Both teams definitely needing a win. The Porter defense allowed 77 points against Weslaco last week, but this week they made the first big play of the game. Angel Flores with the interception takes it to the Rivera 15, and then Mark Gonzalez. This guy's been fantastic all year long. Wastes no time, finds the end zone to one of the top receivers in 32-5A, Jose Luis Bacanas, to make it 7-0. Rivera then fumbles, and then Porter gets 6 more. Gonzalez to Luis Garza, and Porter ends up winning this game. Gets a little closer towards the end, but they still win it. 38-7 is your final. So these are your 32-5A standings as we speak right now, with Weslaco and San Benito on a collision course for this Friday's game. Pace and Hanna at 2-1 with Los Fresnos, and Porter now at 1-2. Rivera and Lopez on the inside, on the outside looking in. And guys, let's go ahead and talk about this game. Greg, let's start with you. 32-5A. It's looking very interesting right now with Weslaco and San Benito on top.
Well, that's obviously the big game of the week, but I think Los Fresnos and Hanna is also going to be pretty tricky. Los Fresnos doesn't want to get down, have 3 losses at this stage, because that's an improved district. Even those teams that seem to be out of the hunt or possibly out of the hunt can come up and get you. So very much an improved district this year, some exciting offensive players. These guys at Porter can get up and down the field, can't they? Yeah,
they definitely can. It's tough for defenses to stop the Cowboys, Jake.
Yeah, well, I think the Cowboys are doing great. I think if we're looking into this week, though, for 32-5A, San Benito, this is their season right here. If they don't beat Weslaco, they're on a collision course with Harlingen again in the playoffs, because they're going to be in that second big school. And so I think right now that this week is San Benito's, game of the year. That's me. I don't know about you.
And they know it, because Spencer Gant said as much after the game on Friday night. He knows that they are playing for their district title this week against Weslaco. That's what they've wanted, and they've done out, and they've done the work the last 2 weeks against some pretty tough teams in 32-5A, so one more hill to climb.
So the gauntlet continues this week for San Benito, and they will take on Weslaco after taking on Pace and Los Fresnos in successive weeks. Guys, let's go ahead and make our picks early. Brendan, let's start with you.
I can't pick against the Greyhounds yet. I mean, all they've done is win, and they've won pretty impressively. They've made some mistakes. They've had to make some comebacks, but I'll take the Greyhounds again.
Jake?
I think what they did against Los Fresnos defensively, I think they'll win the game.
San Benito definitely looked pretty good on defense. Greg?
I'm not convinced about Weslaco yet. They usually turn it on late in the season, so they may. And if they do, then they can beat San Benito. But right now, I'm going to have to go with the prize pick, the Greyhounds, or the team of the week here, I guess.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and make it 4 for 4. Very strange that Weslaco, unbeaten on the season at 6-0 and playing at home at Bobby Lackey Stadium, and yet we're all 4 picking against them and saying that San Benito has looked more impressive. Now, Greg, we did talk about, you talked about Hanna and Los Fresnos and how big a game that is, because Los Fresnos needs this win in order to get back in it. Do you think they will get it at home against Hanna?
Well, they should get it at home against Hanna because they're at home. Hanna last week, I mean, they gave away field position early. They got down 10-0. Then they played pretty well, only lost, I guess, 10-6. Hanna's still going to have to prove it to me on the road, and I'm not saying to me as if I happen to be the guru of all gurus, but I mean, I think that's a good club. I watched them, they hit, but I think Los Fresnos has to get it back together. Playing at home, I believe they win.
All right, Jake, your thoughts on Falcons and Golden Eagles?
Well, I think Hanna's played the easier portion of their schedule, besides Pace. They played the easier portion of their schedule. Los Fresnos has played a harder schedule so far. And I think right now, with their offense, with that running game that Los Fresnos has, I don't think Hanna will be able to stop it.
Yeah, I think Los Fresnos is kind of in the middle of the pack for me. They're not quite at the top level of Weslaco and San Benito, but they're definitely a step above the bottom teams. I think Hanna's still fighting. They don't really have that big play ability. They run that pro offense, and they haven't shown a consistent ability to score on offense, so I like Los Fresnos.
All right, and I guess that makes it 4 for 4 for us as well. The Falcons will rebound, and they will beat Hanna at home. That's our Week 7 pick in that one. Now,